This is a special report. Today we bring you an extraordinary event that has captured the attention of people around the world, an event many call the 144 Circle in Jerusalem. At precisely 10:10 a.m. on October 25, 2025, 144 people gathered, seemingly by unseen impulse, on the Mount of Olives. They formed 12 circles of 12, perfectly aligned, each group equidistant, each facing inward. No leaders, no rehearsal, no command, yet the pattern was flawless. Eyewitnesses described the air vibrating, softly at first, then deepening into a resonant hum. Light shimmered through a thin mist that appeared out of nowhere. Birds stilled mid-flight. For 22 minutes, the gathering stood in silent motion. Then the light rose, the circles opened, and all was calm again. Some have called it divine, others deception. So we ask, was the 144 Circle of God or of another power? Let's begin where all sound interpretation begins, not in speculation, but in what the scriptures themselves reveal. Across the scrolls of time, from Enoch to the prophets, from the Psalms to Revelation, there emerges a single recurring pattern: divine judgment followed by renewal. When the world becomes filled with folly and oppression, when the strong exploit the weak and truth falls in the streets, something extraordinary happens. Heaven intervenes. The flood in Noah's day was one such upheaval. The earth shook, the waters rose, but a vessel, guided by light, brought life into a new world. In the book of Joel, the prophet saw a harvest of judgment, multitudes in the valley of decision. The day of the Lord is near. The sun and the moon are darkened, and the Lord will roar out of Zion. Judgment first, then renewal. In the words of Peter, the day of the Lord will come as a thief. The heavens shall pass away with a roar, but we look for a new heaven and a new earth, where righteousness dwells. Fire dissolves the old. Righteousness gives birth to the new. Enoch described the same mystery long before: a trembling earth, beasts in confusion, then a great white light as the darkness retires. Each time, chaos then calm, death, then renewal. The pattern never changes. Now consider what happened in Jerusalem. The circles formed without command. No voice ordered them. No human authority called the assembly. Yet the pattern, 12 groups of 12, reflects the same order found in the tribes of Israel and in the measures of the New Jerusalem itself: 144 cubits, a wall of divine design, and a city descending out of heaven, radiant with the glory of God. In Revelation chapter 7, John hears the number of those sealed, 144,000, drawn from every tribe, standing upon Mount Zion with the Lamb. They bear a name upon their foreheads, the seal of the living God. The number 144, then, is not arbitrary. It is the mark of divine completeness, the square of 12, the perfection of ordered purpose. Where that number appears, Scripture associates it with protection, purity, and divine selection, not deception. Now contrast that with the marks of demonic influence described by Isaiah and Ecclesiastes. When the wicked decree unjust laws, the land burns. When people make rash vows and speak without fear, their works perish. But in this modern event there were no vows, no oppression, no prophet, only silence, unity, and light. If this were deception, it would echo confusion. Yet all who stood there testified of peace, of an inward stillness that words cannot contain. No one fainted. No one shouted. Every eye turned toward Jerusalem, as if drawn by a higher hand. The scriptures say, "Fear not, for I am with you. I will make Jerusalem sacred, and strangers shall not pass through her again." Joel foresaw this. Zechariah echoed it. The pattern is the same. When Elohim prepares renewal, he often begins with a sign in Zion. The mountains tremble, the people awaken, and a remnant is sealed. Romans describes this renewal within the heart. Sin deceived me and slew me, but I serve now in newness of spirit. The circle event mirrors this inward renewal outwardly, a visible symbol of spiritual awakening. Skeptics say the event was mass suggestion or hidden technology. But recall the manna in Exodus, provision in the wilderness, given at twilight when murmuring rose. Elohim responded not with wrath, but with bread from heaven, to prove who he was. In the same way, perhaps this modern sign was not a trick of man, but a reminder. The Creator still governs the cycles of light and life. So, what does it mean? If the theme of Scripture holds true, judgment and renewal amid cosmic upheaval, then the 144 circle may signify that we stand on the threshold of that renewal. The noise of the world grows. Corruption fills the earth. Yet in silence, in Jerusalem, a circle of completeness appears. Not a call to fear, but to readiness. Not destruction, but transformation. Enoch saw a light rise after the waters receded. Peter saw a new creation after fire. John saw a city descending in light. The prophets saw Zion restored, filled with praise. And today, perhaps, we have seen the first whisper of that restoration. Friends, the Scriptures close with this promise. Behold, I make all things new. That is the essence of divine judgment. It is never merely punishment. It is purification, the sweeping away of what is false so that truth may stand. If this circle was of God, it calls us not to fascination but to faithfulness. If it was of human imagination, it still reminds us that the human spirit longs for order, unity, and light, the very attributes of its Creator. Either way, the message is the same. Prepare your heart. Seek the renewal that begins not on a mountain, but within the soul. For soon the voice that once roared from Zion will speak again, and every circle of light, of life, of love will find